And we are back. It's the Casual Marks podcast. We're running through AEW Dynamite from tonight with our special Homecoming episode. If it's your first time listening, I am the Mark.
And I'm the casual. What's up, guys?
We don't have any kind of sponsors or
And
anything
girls.
like that. So if you want to be our first ever sponsor, hit us up.
Yeah, but don't no adult beverages unless you really want to. I'm doing dry January, so
Oh,
don't tempt me with a good time.
I didn't even know you were doing that.
Yeah, you haven't noticed?
That's,
I'm sure our listeners have noticed.
yeah, there you go. Let's go ahead and get right on into the show. We started out hot with some action. It was Claudio Castagnoli versus Hangman Adam Page going one on one. Not much of like a story or heat going into this
You don't
match.
need story with Claudio and just doing the little spin.
This is fair. There wasn't really much going on other than Hangman has been visibly frustrated after his interactions with Swerve. He was looking for a fight, and Claudio accepted it. The match itself, I thought at the beginning they seemed like they were still kind of getting used to each other's tempo and how
Yeah.
strong they were going. A couple of spots where they weren't looking super uh, intense, I guess the word would be with it. Just kind of going through the motions. But they gave them about 20 minutes, and as the match went on, they really ramped it up, which I think is also probably the best way to do a match in
Yeah.
general. Start out kind of slow and then pick up as we go.
That spot when Claudio caught Hangman, that was a cool spot.
Oh, Claudio's strength was very impressive throughout the night. I mean, the swing, you had the gorilla press over the top rope, you had, of course, him catching him on the moonsault. Just really good. Hangman
He always
also,
is. It makes me question why doesn't he win more often?
well, I'm afraid that Claudio has what you and I off mic often refer to as the Christian effect.
He doesn't look that. He's not like a great salesman though.
No, but he's someone that puts on a really good match with someone and then loses to make them look good.
Yeah, he's like the opposite of what Walter's like. You're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna lose the whole time, and then Claudio, you're like, oh my gosh, he's gonna win,
And then he
and then
loses. If we ever get any kind of forbidden door between WWE and AEW, I think that's like one of my dream matches on there.
Gunther and Claudio.
Yeah, Gunther and Claudio.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we're planning on talking about this, but my dream forbidden door is Hook versus Jinder Mahal.
All right, I'm not even going to touch that one. That might be a TikTok excerpt. So if you guys are joining us from that, welcome to the actual YouTube video. What were your thoughts? This was your first time seeing a show actually in Daly's place, was it not?
Yeah, it was, and I will say the first little cutscene I saw, or the first bit I saw, I was like, why is the lighting so bad? And then you told me it wasn't actually the outdoor like venue, like amphitheater type thing. And you showed me some of the pictures from back in the day, like when the sun was going down and everything like that. And I thought
Mm.
it was really, really cool. And once I realized that it was an outside venue, I thought that was really awesome. And then they were just talking about how they were doing the COVID years there, and it was a cool thing to see. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that outdoor venue. I think that not just wrestling, but all sporting events could benefit from more outdoor things like basketball and stuff like that. But it was cool to just see outdoors like that.
I think it's cool just in the sense that it's something different, but I really don't love how it affects like the light balancing and some of the actual overall production quality.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's cool because it doesn't happen every week. If it happened every week, it'd be like, all right, this is kind of old. It's like you said, it's just something new to switch it up. And I'm sure the wrestlers might not enjoy wrestling outside all the time.
Probably depending on the weather.
Yeah, but it was just cool to switch things up like that. I enjoyed that, and I didn't really realize that that was AEW's unofficial home base.
Yeah, AEW tries to have a couple of home bases, but I think Daly's Place is really like
Yeah, it was
the
Chicago
place.
until CM Punk got out of there. So he was unrightfully fired, but now he's back home.
Whoa. The match ends up being won by Hangman, and this is my real only like big critique because, like I said, a little bit of like lack of heat going into it, but the match kind of made up for that. I lost my train of thought there. The finish of the match itself, Hangman reverses an avalanche Ricola bomb into a Hurricane Rana, and then he hits the buckshot
That's cool
lariat.
that Claudio has a Ricola after the cough drops.
I don't think that's what it's after. But he hits the buckshot lariat, but he doesn't even like take a moment. He immediately goes onto the apron again afterwards and goes for a second, which means that Claudio just had to immediately stand up after taking the first one.
Feed!
And that's just I like the idea of like, ooh, he's really losing it. He's so aggressive. He's gonna hit his finisher again. But it's not a good look for your finisher when the guy takes it and without even like stopping to sell, just gets up.
Yeah, but you can't control that fighting spirit sometimes. It just
The
boils
adrenaline
up.
in his soul. Every thought was out of control. Something, Claudio. Next up was the men's 8-man tag team match. So we had Lance Archer teaming up with the GOA, the Ring of Honor or Trios champions like Brian Cage and all them. Mogul Embassy, basically. Going up against Adam Copeland, Preston Vance, Orange Cassidy, and Dustin Rhodes. What I've seen is that -1, Brody Lee Jr., like picked people to be in this match.
Is
I
that
don't know if
actually
that
his son?
who Brody Lee Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brody Lee Jr. is actually Brody Lee's child.
Oh, that's cool.
Now I don't know how true that is, or if that's just what people were going around and saying on the internet. I don't know.
Well, are those like actually Brody Lee's friends? I know the what was his name?
Preston Vance.
Preston Vance was in the Dark Order, was he not?
Yes.
Okay.
He was 10.
But 10, Ty Dillinger.
Not that time.
But were they are these people at all actually Brody's friends, or was this just like kind of a get people on TV? Or
I'm assuming that some of them were, and some of them were just getting on TV.
Gotcha.
Like I'm sure that like Dustin Rhodes was actually probably pretty tight with Brody Lee being like a AEW original and everything. I don't really know about like Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. I don't know about any of that.
And what about Adam Copeland? I know he was screaming his what's his real name?
John Hubert.
Yeah, John Hubert forever. Like I didn't really realize that Adam Copeland was tight with Brody Lee like that, but I guess Adam Copeland's tight with everyone, kind of.
Yeah, that's another one. I've never heard of them being close, but I think it's also just Adam Copeland's been in the business so long, he probably knows all of them.
Right.
The match itself, nothing really spectacular to talk about. Preston Vance does get the win doing the discus lariat, a shout out and tribute to Brody Lee.
Was that his finisher?
That was like Brody's main finisher. He also did a power bomb called the Brody Bomb, but I would say the discus lariat is really his finish.
Gotcha, and probably Preston Vance couldn't pick him up for a power bomb.
Well, maybe. I will say I wish Lance Archer had better looks in AEW.
I know you are a Lance Archer.
I really am. But even with Orange Cassidy, I mean, he just was really tearing it down. I think he was carrying the heel side of things, looking the best for him. And he didn't have to take the pin or anything.
I think you're forgetting about my boy, the Ka, Brian Cage.
You hate Brian Cage.
Yeah, I do. But that's why he's carrying the heel side, because I hate him so much.
Oh, and this is true.
OC should have been on the heel side because of how much I hate him as well. I'm surprised he didn't get the pin just because of how protected he is. I mean, he's like Roman Reigns out there.
He does do the same Superman punch. I thought it was interesting at the end. Adam Copeland was on camera, like, it didn't look like he was like mad, but he was having a pretty long exchange of words with Orange Cassidy instead of really celebrating.
Yeah, I feel like Adam Copeland had a weird night in general. It was weird seeing him at Daly's place. It was weird seeing him like come out with a hat on. I don't know if you saw the video, but whenever he does the things where he raises his arms for the pyro, and he like turned around and there was none. It was just like the flames coming out. It was just a weird vibe.
I mean, you can't really do pyro in Daly's place, but maybe
sure
he
you
didn't
can.
know that. I mean, I guess you can. Yeah,
it's outside.
Like he just
you
might
can
have
do pyro
been
indoors, but you
more,
can't do it outside.
Well, I mean, the fans are right there at the screen.
They're right there in the arena.
Oh, yeah, make a good point. You make a good point.
But it just felt like a weird vibe. Maybe that was just me digging into it. I don't know.
But like I said, nothing crazy about this match. I'm always happy when they pay tributes to Brody Lee.
It is nice.
That just felt like all this match was.
Yeah. Which nothing wrong with that because that's like really where Brody Lee was big, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, during
okay,
that era.
gotcha.
Just kind of what is what it is. Next up, we had a backstage segment, the progression, I guess you would say, of forming the Bang Bang Scissor Gang between Bullet
Yeah,
Club Gold and the Acclaim.
they're all gonna hold gold, baby.
I'll be honest, I'm not into it. I don't like it.
I'll fight
I
you right now.
understand that it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend and everything like that.
But
And it's
wait,
probably
but
something to
wait,
do with Daddy
scissor
Ass
me,
wanting.
daddy.
That's what I'm saying. Daddy Ass probably wants to work with Austin and Colton Gunn before he wraps things up.
Oh, I forget those are his sons.
Yeah, those are actually his sons. But like, I don't know. It just
Maybe
feels
he shouldn't have
weird.
chosen the Acclaimed over his own sons.
Well, I don't blame him. I probably would have too. It just felt weird. And of course, Bullet Club Gold was like, we need more time to think about it. And then the Acclaim was like, well, let us know, pal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, is Jay
I
White
think
gonna
this is
be involved in
actually,
this?
yeah, Jay White would most likely, it would be a 5-man group, I assume, to go against the 5 of Undisputed Kingdom.
Huh, interesting.
And we'll talk a little bit more about Undisputed Kingdom in a little bit, but in terms of
So they're
these
turning them
actual,
face?
that's what it feels like. And I don't
Interesting.
know if that's going to work.
I just look at Jay White and I don't think of face. I don't like him as a
It really just might be like a short little program with them,
just a
and
little
then
tweener action, and then he
gets them
turns right
to
on him
turn on them so that we get the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold.
for the trios champions.
Maybe, maybe, but I don't know. As of right now, I'm not rocking with it.
I like it just because I love the Acclaimed. Everyone loves the Acclaimed,
That's fair.
and I do like the Guns as well. But no, I'll bite the hook. I'll see where it's going.
I mean, I'll definitely see where it's going, but as of right now, they haven't won me over. So we'll see if they can. So I'll tell you what did win me over: Samoa Joe's promo. That was next up on our
Yeah,
rundown for tonight.
and it was sexy Samoa Joe in
He
his
was all
suit,
suited up, looking so
businessman.
fine. Samoa Joe came out and cut a promo, possibly brought back power rankings to AEW, saying that there's going to be a championship committee for you to bring your record to, and if you have an impressive run, then you're able to get a championship match.
Not down with that because there's people that are like 27-1, and it's like, why are they not competing for the title?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone's defending that Hook has really only lost like one match in one-on-one action.
Well, if you look at Sting, Sting's undefeated.
That's
Sting
what I was
should...
about to say. Why is Sting, and spoiler alert for later in the review, Sting's fighting the Young Bucks. But why is Sting fighting the Young Bucks in his last match? If he's undefeated, he should be the one who's able to go after any championship he wants at any time.
Yeah, and back to my point about Tony Khan going after Jinder Mahal.
Oh, no.
It like Tony Khan decides who's winning and not. It's not like these records actually mean anything.
Well, that's a good point. I understand the value of, like, a sports-based presentation, trying to say wins and losses will matter within the confines of our stories.
Well, if it's gonna matter, they need to make it matter. If not, they don't need to bring it up.
Yeah, and if they're going to make it matter, then I think that means that you're going to have
It
to
should be
start
like a
taking into
universal.
consideration the quality of opponent.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
assuming that legitimate sport is kind of like that.
Well, yeah, but
Like if you're 15-0, but you played against, I don't know, a bad college football team, Texas
Danhausen's.
A&M.
Well, Texas A&M's pretty decent.
Okay, so there you go, pretty decent. But if you played them 15 games straight and beat them, does that mean that you're going to the national playoffs?
The college football playoffs. Not if you're Florida State when your quarterback goes down.
See, there you go. There you go. It's got to be the same thing. I guess that's what the championship committee is that Samoa Joe was referencing.
Who's going to be on that committee? Tony
I don't know.
Khan,
Tony Khan,
the Young
period.
Bucks,
Just Tony Khan.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Wow, that's weird. Kenny Omega's getting a title match again. He was interrupted by Swerve. I think Swerve should be the one to dethrone Samoa Joe. But I don't think it should be yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think there's a lot still cooking with the Adam Page stuff. But
speaking of Adam Page,
Swerve might be the most over person in AEW right now.
I think he is justifiably so. Maybe other than
justifiably. Sting. This is awesome. But the way that his entrance was and Daly's place was rocking, that was a cool entrance. And I saw on Twitter that was apparently his first time ever there. I was
Hmm.
kind of surprised by that. When did he come into AEW? Like,
Like 2022.
they haven't been back. They didn't go all of
Uh,
2023.
they may have been back, but he just may not have been
Oh,
booked.
gotcha. Okay.
Swerve actually hasn't had like that long of a push going on for
Yeah,
him
I know. I remember it was
because there was kind of some start and stop after Swerve in Our Glory, which was Keith Lee teaming up with Swerve Strickland,
yeah.
and that's why it was like weird that they brought it back up for World's End, and then it didn't get to happen. Hopefully, Keith Lee's doing all right. If you're listening, Keith Lee, I love you,
Do some
but
more food reviews.
Swerve—that's not the same thing. But Swerve just has not had that long of a push. And
Huh.
I think
Maybe he's like the LA Knight. He'll fizzle out.
I don't think it'll be anything like that.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think Swerve is good enough in ring to not fizzle
As
out.
long as
No
Prince
offense to
Nana's in
LA
his
Knight.
corner.
But that's the thing. He's got a fun catchphrase, and he backs it up in the ring, and he has a manager to help get the crowd alive and doing stuff.
And he actually says things rather than just having the catchphrase.
Well, this is fair. No offense to LA Knight, of course,
Every
if you're
offense to
listening.
LA Knight if you're listening.
He was interrupted by Hangman Adam Page, who came out, stared down both Swerve and Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that he came out after his match with Claudio. I don't know.
I also thought it was a little weird, maybe even almost a little bit overexposing him.
Yeah.
But
He's double
I mean,
booked.
he is actively trying to get to Swerve Strickland again,
Yeah.
and I think he's also trying to get to Samoa Joe,
So
which I
you
thought
know
was
what
a little
that
interesting.
means. Triple threat.
I honestly wouldn't hate a triple threat just because in a one-on-one situation between Hangman and Swerve, I don't know what you do to ramp it up from a death
I was about
match.
to say that same thing. Like, I think that feud could benefit from a triple threat to throw something new into it. But I don't know. It's just as I know from WWE 2K in GM mode, you can't double book somebody like that. So it was just
So it was like, hey, now
yeah,
Triple H is gonna be so mad
yeah.
at your TV show. And then the last person to come out and confront
The most
Samoa Joe,
awesome one.
they activated the Hook signal, like the Batman signal. Hook's music hit, and he came out and got in Samoa Joe's face. I'm not here to pick sides when it comes to Hook and Jinder Mahal
I
or
am, and I'm
anything like
picking
that.
Jinder Mahal.
I'm not here to drag either one of them. I think both of them
Well, I'm not
do their
dragging him
roles
either, but I'm
very
just
well.
saying that you can't hinder Jinder.
I understand. But in the context of both of them, I think it is bad for Hook to be directly compared to Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And
Do
I
you think
understand that
that
they're trying to
Hook would
say,
have been
like,
put out there like that without the crap that was going on X?
tonight,
Yeah,
maybe not.
that's what I kind of thought too. But I will say the Hook symbol, that was cool.
I was not
And
rocking with the Hook signal. I was laughing at it, and I don't think that was the reaction I was supposed to have.
I think that if you go do a little quick uh, x.com search, formerly known as Twitter, and just type in Meanwhile Hook, you'll see a very nice photograph of what I would love to be doing with Hook. I mean, he
Interesting.
seems like a cool guy to party with, is what I'm saying, and that's I think the strip club might have been throwing up the Hook symbol to say we need you back here, Hook.
They
Not
will be tonight, at least. I think.
like you said, he is the
Huh?
off air. You said that
Yeah,
he is the
the
James
James
Harden.
Harden of AEW. I think most likely we're going to see all three of those men get a match with Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
And I think most likely they're going to go in reverse order of how they came out. So we'll see Hook
Hook.
and
Yeah,
then Hangman and then Swerve.
yeah.
And it'll probably be then that Swerve takes the title off of him.
You think Swerve will take the title off of him in the first match?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
I think if you play it out so that they maybe have their match at, say, it would have to be after Revolution. I don't know what their pay-per-view calendar schedule is looking like, but I would assume it's something like Full Gear that would be next. If you waited for something like that and you did it there, I could see it happening.
I
Give
could
Samoa Joe a couple month reign. I mean,
I could see.
MJF just held it for over a year.
Yeah.
We kind of need somewhat a shorter
Are you
reign.
saying that you're a fan of transitional champions? That you argue with me all the time is not good.
I mean, you are trying to say that like a couple months is a transitional champion. What I argue about is like a week.
Well, I'll be
When
honest.
you're always like, I'm bored of this.
I'll be
Why
honest.
haven't we changed champions? And they just won it at WrestleMania and we're not even to Backlash
I'll
yet or
be
something.
honest. A few months will definitely feel like a transition after all these long title reigns we've been having lately.
I mean, it would feel like one, especially in the moment, and I think we would have people, even in our comments, saying that they buried Samoa Joe.
Like myself,
But
especially if he loses it to somebody
if
not
you
named
have something
Swerve.
like 4 to 6 months with a title reign and you let them defend it on like Dynamite, Collision, and pay-per-views, you could very easily have about 15 title defenses.
Yeah, that's what I
And
kind of
that's a
thought
good
they were going to
reign.
do with Seth Rollins in the World Heavyweight Championship.
I
But
did too. I thought they were going
um,
to try and keep that title active as
yeah,
a way to.
I mean it's definitely active. It just
I
hasn't been
mean,
switching
yes, it's
hands.
active, but I mean actively changing who's
Yeah,
holding it
yeah,
as a way to try and be like, yes, you are not getting changes with Roman Reigns and really not with Gunther either.
right,
So here's this title. But then they
right.
didn't do that, and now Logan Paul's got the title, so he's not there to do it either. But that's besides the point. We're not worrying about WWE and their weird booking of long-term champions right now.
But I will say what I could see if they do have a triple threat match. I could see something where maybe Swerve pins Hangman in the triple threat match to set up like a Samoa Joe Swerve feud. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I could see that, like, if it ever is a triple threat,
Yeah,
Joe doesn't get pinned for the title, so
yeah,
he's not buried, but he doesn't have the title.
yeah. I could
Maybe.
see that.
But I mean, we don't even know if they're going to do a triple threat.
Well,
I just think that's probably the smartest decision.
I agree. And you know what happens in your fantasy book?
Makes everything else suck.
Because they didn't choose your idea.
Next up, we had Ricky Stark versus Sammy Guevara. The match itself, really good. Ricky Stark and Sammy Guevara, arguably the actual pillars of AEW. I don't know if I necessarily believe in
For how
pillars.
long until Ricky Starks comes to WWE?
That's the question, isn't it? I don't know if I necessarily believe in pillars, but I remember there was a big thing, even on our TikTok channel, which is also the CasualMarks, where we were talking about the idea of a fifth pillar and making it Ricky Starks. And a lot of people seem to be in favor of that.
Yeah, I'll be
If there's
honest.
going to be pillars, you need to consider Ricky Starks in there.
I usually not like Ricky Starks, but he's grown on me, and I have really started to enjoy him. And of course, you know I love me some Big Bill.
Yeah, yeah. The match itself, Sammy Guevara won with like a, I guess you would call it a roll up, even though it was after a
quick,
super kick.
quick question, and this is off topic a little bit,
Go for it.
but another X.com question, and you can probably say that I should get off of X. But anyways, I saw that Sammy Guevara's wife was tweeting about how he's a different person than he was in like 2016 and stuff like that.
Mm,
So, and that she doesn't
mm.
know that Sammy Guevara is that shoot kayfabe? What's going on with that?
Oh, no, that would be a shoot comment. Sammy Guevara has had a interesting history of controversies, and we won't get into those controversies today because I'm not trying to bury them in your mind. But the majority of what we hear about Sammy Guevara off screen is negative.
That's why he's friends with Chris Jericho.
Oh, speaking of Chris Jericho, Jericho did come out after the match because Big Bill attacked Sammy Guevara. Jericho came out to make the save, and they played his music over the entire
Yeah,
brawl.
that was weird. That was I don't know.
Now,
I guess
AEW has done that before.
you
This
gotta
isn't
you
like the
gotta
first
pay
time that
Fozzy
they've done it.
whenever you're paying for the full song once you play Fozzy.
Yeah, maybe so. This isn't the first time AEW's decided to just keep music playing over a brawl, and every time I think it seems very weird.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. Like it's like to me I like the initial, especially like when you're running down like that, just hit like the initial music just to let them know like you're coming out, and then cut it, and then let like the pop of the crowd, and then the brawl happen like Stone Cold. Just all you got to hear is the glass break, and then after that it's over. Like you don't
Because
want to hear the
hopefully the crowd is loud
yeah.
enough to cover it.
That makes me wonder if they were trying to hide something or
Like if they were trying to hide booze or anything.
yeah,
I mean, maybe that was like the plan, but I didn't really notice the crowd booing him.
or to get the brawl over so fast that way the crowd keeps singing Judas.
It probably was more than anything so the crowd could sing Judas. But it just felt every time that they do it, and it's not just AEW. I've seen it in other like indie promotions that do this too. It feels weird. Like I'd much rather have commentary and crowd over music while I'm watching wrestling.
Yeah, I would as well. But there's probably people there that only were there to see. Maybe not only there, but they were really looking forward to seeing that.
Maybe. They're going to be having their tag team title match at Battle of the Belts 9, which is Saturday after Collision.
Oh,
And I don't see any shot of it changing
who are
hands.
they fighting?
It's Big Bill and Ricky Stark versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Ah,
I don't see it.
that's interesting.
I don't see it
Is that
changing
live?
hands. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, cool. No, I don't think it'll change hands either. Unless Chris Jericho brings out his bat.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Big Bill no sells him.
Finally, Big Bill. He
But
was
yeah,
doing that
I don't,
before, so
I don't know. I don't really see it changing hands either. I don't know. It just,
I don't necessarily think it should.
no, I don't either. It seems like it's a little rushed. I don't know. I keep saying I don't know, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I mean, this match itself probably is being rushed because remember Kenny Omega went down with diverticulitis.
Oh yeah, and it was Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega were the
The
ones.
Golden
Yeah,
Jets.
and then they.
So I think this probably is rushed and they're just making the most of it. But I feel that it's rushed, and because of that, I'm not super invested in going into
Yeah,
this
I
at
feel
Battle of the
that.
Belts.
I can definitely relate to that. Um, and I'm just not. I don't know. I don't really like Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho all that much.
That's fair. Next up, we
Oh
had
wait,
time.
wait, wait!
Oh,
I wanted to ask you about the. Yeah, you just tried to skim past it whenever we were watching about the Chris Jericho cruise.
yeah. So Chris Jericho does cruises basically once a year, and the cruise is I think it's like 5 days, maybe 7 days. I don't know.
Is Chris Jericho on this cruise, or is he just?
They like rent out a boat.
But I said, is Chris Jericho on this cruise?
Oh, on the cruise?
Yeah.
Yes, he's the main
Oh,
attraction.
that's awesome.
It's his what's it called? Rock and Wrestling or something like that. The Chris Jericho cruise. And the reason that people were talking about it today while we were watching the show is because it came out that in the 2021, which was the second ever Rock and Wrestling cruise, what was it called? Second Wave, I think. They had MVP there, and
Like
MVP and Chris
like
Jericho.
WWE MVP, Omos MVP.
Yeah. The
Oh
manager
yeah.
of Omos. They got into a heated confrontation of words that resulted in MVP knocking out Chris Jericho.
Oh boy, I knew I loved MVP.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't have any details about like what the fight was about or anything like that. I'm going to assume that it was probably a payment dispute. People that want to have bad faith takes, you could probably also say that he was fighting for some woman's honor.
the the payment is you're on a cruise with Chris Jericho listening to Fozzy and talking about wrestling the whole
Yeah,
time.
I would also probably want some different payment if I were on this cruise.
Chris Jericho, if you want to pay me with that, I will gladly accept a cruise and listen to Fozzy.
The casual. That's it. Welcome to the Casual Podcast. Gotta censor the marks on that one.
I'll cover it for that week.
Yeah, that's all you, brother. Sorry, Jericho, if you're listening, but I don't like boats, so I ain't going on none, even if it is to listen to Fozzy.
Sorry, that was off topic. I just know that we talked about it a bit, and I just wanted to come back to that and find out what was going on whenever you.
Who knows about the details itself, but MVP apparently.
That sounds like something that like 2000 WWE would do. Join us on the WWE cruise, taking off from the WWE bar in Times Square.
My God, we're cruising out of Times Square. This is a crazy bar. Next up, we had Timeless Tony doing a little promo backstage. I'll be honest, I'm into the Timeless Tony character itself, but I just don't really care about this. Like, tonight she was like, I'm going to have a match with Deonna Purrazzo, and Mariah May was like, did you see my match? And she was like, did you throw an arm drag? I don't care, dude.
I really like the Timeless Tony, but the problem is I don't know who can beat
her. If what the dirt sheets are saying is true, Mercedes Moné when she comes in.
Yeah, how mad
but
is
a lot
everybody
of them
tonight
were saying that she was going to come in tonight, and spoiler alert for the rest of the episode, she didn't.
That's the thing is that if there was a time to have her come in that was not in a pay-per-view would be tonight. Like, are they going to wait until Revolution to bring her out, or is she going to debut at the WWE Royal Rumble?
I don't know. What I do
Or
know
gonna
is,
make a surprise appearance back in New Japan like she did last year.
I don't see her coming anytime soon, including today, because
That's what he
Deonna
said.
Purrazzo just showed up, and I don't think you just want to bury that signing
Yeah.
by bringing in arguably a bigger signing.
It's like whenever Triple H first took back over and then they just kept reintroducing people every week, and it's like, I forgot who even was introduced last week.
Yeah, literally. Well, I mean, you remember when Hit Row came back, and that was like, oh Lord, Hit
Oh,
Row is back. And then the next week they got jumped by the call up from LWO, and everyone was
yeah.
like, oh God, or not LWO, Legado del
Or
Fantasma.
then you had Emma doing her little bubbles and Ronda
Oh,
Rousey.
Emma. Ooh.
But I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, X, as some call it. I saw that people were saying that Tony Khan was freaking out on Jinder Mahal and everything, like doing his little tantrum because they did not sign Mercedes Monet. And I mean, it's all hearsay and all just rumors, but I thought that was interesting.
I think that was more than anything just people bad faith takes, we would call them, where it was just like, well, why would Tony Khan freak out about this? He must not have signed Mercedes, and it's like he didn't say anything about Mercedes Monet.
Yeah, but he's just throwing a temper tantrum. He's a spoiled billionaire,
I mean, maybe so,
and he didn't get a new
maybe
toy
so,
to play with.
but when she didn't come on the first Dynamite of the new year, and it was Deonna Purrazzo instead,
Yeah,
I was pretty much set. All right, Mercedes won't be coming in until at least Revolution.
I thought she might have tonight. I guess I fell into it. I thought she might debut tonight, but
I think if she was going to, whenever she debuts, be it for WWE or AEW, if it's not the Royal Rumble, they're gonna make it very obvious that she's coming back.
yeah.
Kind of like what happened with CM Punk. Like everyone in that arena knew CM Punk is gonna be here
But
tonight.
then you didn't think he was gonna be there because they put
No,
up
they
the
did a
little
really good job of
logo and
like faking
everything.
us out and
Yeah,
making people doubt it. But I think if you were to ask, I don't know, every single person coming out of there, maybe 90%, we're gonna say, yeah, I thought CM Punk would be here tonight.
well, yeah. And then they had the Randy Orton wanting or like wasn't there yet, and he's in that. And then Randy Orton came out, and I'm like, oh man, CM Punk's really not gonna be here tonight.
And there you go,
Yeah.
surprise, surprise.
And so maybe I thought I kept thinking, like the last match of tonight, I was like, Mercedes Monet's music's about to hit.
Yeah, Mercedes is gonna come out and confront Sting. Before we get into that last match of the night, let's also talk about the 8-woman tag team match. We had Anna Jay, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Thunder Rosa going against the team of Saraya, Ruby Soho, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. And much like the men's one, I think this was here just to be a tribute match for Brody Lee. I think that's why Anna Jay was in the match. I think that's
Oh, was she
why,
in the?
yeah, she was 99 in the Dark Order.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she also got the win by choking out Sky Blue. And I think it was just to do the tribute for Brody.
Well,
And
that's
that's fine and
cool. I
everything.
didn't. I didn't realize that. I mean, this match was a fine match. Julia Hart's entrance was fire as always, especially with Sky Blue looking up at her like that.
Honestly, I'm fine with the match and everything like that. The only thing that gives me any kind of pause or concern or disappointment is that I don't know that they're going to keep the momentum for Anna Jay because I think she was a heel before going into this match.
Oh, really?
I think so. I mean, she's with Cool Hands and Daddy Magic, and I guess by extension that means that she's also with Daniel Garcia, even though I don't ever really see those interacting. The casual just hit the dance on me.
But
And
I'm so
she is
serious.
better. She is getting better in the ring. I don't know if she's necessarily like women's champion material, but I think if they're going to put her in here and have her interacting with all these moving parts in the TBS championship, I hope that they're going to keep her around it and
Yeah.
not just, all right, you had your tribute to Brody, you're back to Rampage.
Yeah, I hope that she does as well. I didn't realize that she was in the Dark Order and everything.
Mm,
I just thought she'd get the win. But uh, I mean, like you said, it was a fine match. I don't know if really the momentum will be carried like that. I just think there's a lot of people on AEW that have more momentum than she does. I don't know if this one match can keep carrying her like that. especially after that 8-person suplex. That was not a happy moment for me.
I mean, it's a fun spot, you know? It's there to pop the live
Not
crowd
whenever you're
and
sitting there waiting on the other 3 people to come to your suplex.
no, I know, but you know, it's there. It's like the Tower of Doom. It's there to pop the live crowd and get a good clip for social media, and then you move on.
Well, yeah, but you had to do some kind of like, ooh, trying real hard to pick you up, but I can't. And then you have your teammate come over and help you, but the other teammate comes over. It looked like they were just waiting for that spot. It wasn't a very natural sequence to get to that. It was just like, all right, now is our time to do the suplex.
Yeah, and I think that's a big criticism of a lot of the in-ring AEW talent that are still developing is there is a lot of like, all right, I got to get in my position. I think
Yeah,
it's kind of
it's
like
like
when you're
how,
watching some of the NXT
yeah,
breakout.
it's like how you say that people are watching their feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't mind the match. I think the TBS Championship, especially, has so much going on. It almost makes me think that AEW needs a women's tag team division.
yeah.
But I don't know that AEW would give them enough time to really make those titles mean anything.
At least they have a mid card.
Yeah, it's nice that they have a mid card, but it's kind of like how WWE has a Raw one and a SmackDown one. When you have this big of a women's roster, you gotta start doing something extra.
Yeah.
And I think that AEW is getting big enough now, especially if they're going to bring in Mercedes like they're trying to. There's just not enough time being given to them or like stakes when you only have two
You got to
championships.
pull an NXT and have a battle royale to a fatal 4-way match.
Every week. That's how it feels when I watch NXT.
And then everybody was hating on me because I did not say they sucked. I said they were all equal. It made me wonder if they sucked. But
Regardless,
it was a good match to set up for the main event. It wasn't too high. It wasn't too low. It was just a match.
we actually had another match in between this and the
Oh, I
main
don't
event. I
remember
guess
that.
you forgot. It was Roderick Strong versus
Oh,
the
how could I
Brian
forget
Keith, the
that?
bounty hunter.
It's because of Adam Cole's long ass promo.
I guess you could forget it because it wasn't a wonderful match.
I thought the bounty hunter did a great job. I love the bounty hunter.
Sure, he did a great job of getting beat. This is just one of those matches that's there to help increase Undisputed
Yeah.
or the Undisputed Kingdom. And Brian Keith, unfortunately, had to be the guy that made him look good.
Yeah, I feel like he's
I
doing
like
that all the
Brian
time.
Keith a lot, but when AEW gets a new toy, they bring him in and they are immediately made to be enhancement talent. It makes me not care about him as
Yeah,
much.
do
It
the
happened with
job,
Commander.
kid.
I am still a big Commander mark, but man, that guy never gets wins. And you want to talk about Tony Khan trying to call out someone like Jinder getting booked, where he's got suddenly he's in a championship program. Commander and Brian Keith, who take tons of losses, just went against the two members of the Kingdom in that Eliminator match where they only had to last 10 minutes and then they would get a title shot and they lost still.
Maybe our issue is that we are fans of the people that lose all the time. I
Yeah, it
mean,
is
I
our
I
issue.
like
I
the
don't know why we
Miz,
like
I
enhancement
like
talent so
Jinder
much.
Mahal, I like Baron Corbin, and then you like Ricochet.
Do not talk bad about Ricochet, and especially don't talk bad about Commander. The
But
match itself, totally fine.
yeah, I mean, I guess it shows right there that I forgot all about it just because I was thinking about Adam Cole's promo. It was just a match.
That promo afterwards, it didn't do it for me.
No, I was about to say I was a little bored.
Like, I'll be honest, I noticed this during the entrance. Undisputed's got on their matching merch, except for Wardlow. Wardlow's got like a hoodie that says Wolves on it.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure if that's like a band, a movie, another wrestling group. I don't know. But it wasn't Undisputed Kingdom merch.
yeah.
And then afterwards, again, Adam Cole said the line where he's like, Wardlow's finally in a group that respects him. They're making it very obvious Wardlow's going to be the guy that breaks out.
Yeah, and he was like, even after the promo, and they were like raising their hands, Wardlow was just like smirking with his arms down and everything. It seems very fast moving for how long it took to unmask everyone, and I guess maybe they're scrambling because They
because
didn't
of
think Adam
MJF
Cole was
possibly being out for a year now.
out for a year.
Yeah, based on what people are
How's he going to
saying
come to the
from
Royal Rumble if he's out for a year?
this is a good question. But based on what people are saying about his shoulder injury, he could be out for up to
So he
1
was
full
actually
year.
injured.
Yeah. And then
Oh.
I think he was even injured going into the match and then probably made it worse
Ah.
during the match.
Oh, dang.
But what I'm noticing is that Wardlow doesn't look happy to be in this group.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional or not. But regardless, it's not a good look for the group on their, third week as a group?
Yeah, like I said, it's very fast moving compared to how long it took everything. And maybe, I guess I could see maybe Wardlow was just using them to get to MJF, but now MJF's gone. And maybe he's mad that Adam Cole made a deal with Samoa Joe and gave him the championship. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of ways it can go, but it's just weird. It feels a little weird.
I'll be honest, we said this before the reveal of Adam Cole, that no matter who it was going to be disappointing.
Yeah, and it has been.
I'm disappointed.
I am
I
too.
really am. Let's go ahead and jump into the main event, because this one did not disappoint me. Sting and Darby Allin versus the Don Callis families, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Takeshita.
Yeah, this match was absolutely crazy, and I'm normally I have to. I don't even know what to say. Darby Allin is growing on me. What am I turning into? Some kind of mark?
It's like that when Spider-Man's ripping off the black suit. That's you
Yeah.
ripping off the hatred for Darby Allin.
No, I don't like to see him like do well. I just like him like doing all these crazy
Just
spots.
getting beat up. The match itself is exactly what we expected it was going to be. They made it no DQs, falls count anywhere, so that there could be a lot of outside brawling with Sting, while Darby did a lot of the in-ring
What are you
work.
saying, that Sting can't perform in
What are
ring?
you saying, that Sting is old and maybe past his prime? Surely not, while we're 2 months away from his retirement. But the match itself did have a lot of big spots that I think really brought us back.
Yeah.
Of course, Darby Allin always makes whatever's getting hit on him look great. But then Darby also got a dive off of the Titantron on Takeshita to take him out.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't think that was actually going to happen, since Powerhouse wasn't over there to also catch him. But Darby said, "Oh yeah, fuck it," and then just did the little coffin drop, yeah, and that was insane. And then them like doing the double dutch
Yeah, the
with
little
him,
swing where they threw him
Takeshita and
across the
Hobbs.
match.
Yeah, that was insane.
And then we even got Ric Flair getting in the ring and
My
getting
favorite
physical,
part
which,
of the match.
I mean, Ric Flair, I'm not surprised. I am a little bit disappointed that Takeshita didn't get to knock Ric Flair out. I won't lie. I really thought that's where we were going. Takeshita's got a crazy looking stiff forearm, and I thought Ric Flair would be willing to take it.
Sting saved him, baby.
He did. He really did save him.
You know what I'm excited for?
Mm.
Whenever it's quote unquote Sting's last match and they're standing there with their arms raised in victory, and Ric Flair's standing there, and then he drops to his knees and low blows Sting to set up one. But I thought the craziest spot of this match was the Powerhouse Hobbs and Sting on the elevated surface over there where the concrete was, going all the way down. And then, of course, there just so happened to be tables set up there. But 64-year-old Sting doing that spot right there, that was insane.
I felt real bad because they definitely missed the first table.
Yeah,
they put
did,
all of their effort and trust into that second table, and I'm not sure they got all of it.
Yeah, and I was honestly kind of concerned at the end of the match when Sting covered Powerhouse for the win there, and
there were a couple of officials and referees
and Darby
check on him.
Darby was like over there checking on him like right after the match, and I was like, oh no, his hip or something is not right. But then all of a sudden Sting popped up.
He was fine. Classic Sting, no selling, baby. And it seemed like that was going to be the end of it, but then old Tony Schiavone
we
got in the
5
ring.
minutes of free wrestling.
Well, no wrestling, just talking. They came in, and old Tony Schiavone was like, Sting, we all want to know who's going to be your last opponent at your last match at Revolution. And as Sting was about to talk, he got interrupted by the Young Bucks music. The Young Bucks are back even though, I mean, they haven't been gone long enough for me to really miss them. But I did see some people tweeting that they missed them. So maybe
Not
I'm just
I.
hating on them.
I didn't even know who it was because it wasn't the Wayward Son.
That's a different level of hating. But they came out. They didn't say anything. They stood on the ramp. They looked at them. And then commentary told us that they were calling them out for their last match. So it seems like Sting's last match in AEW, his official retirement match, is going to be Sting and Darby Allin
Until Ric
against the
Flair
Young
low
Bucks.
blows
I
him.
do not think that we're going to set up another match with Ric Flair. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
We need to start our own promotion and make this match happen.
Sting, Ric Flair, if y'all are listening and you want to get in on this, let us know, man.
Yeah, we'll have some
We'll do it in
energy
Charlotte and
drinks and some wings.
Wings. Regardless, I don't like this as a last match.
You think this is? You think that's the official? Like we're gonna have Young Bucks versus Darby Allin and Sting?
I mean, maybe you could make it a 6-man, but I think after tonight, those 4 are definitely going to be going against each other.
That's not who I thought was gonna be Sting's last match, but I don't really know.
I thought Sting's last match would get to be 1-on-1, honestly.
I did too.
And I mean, sure, if it's 1-on-1, you can't really hide Sting's limitations as much.
Yeah.
But you don't need his last match to be something crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
not
people
at all.
are going to be there in the Greensboro Coliseum because they want to see Sting's best hits. You know, you don't go to see, I don't know,
I know what
the Rolling Stones and hope that they play Post Malone.
I tell you what I want to see. I want to see Old Yeller, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels,
Darby Allin, I'm sorry, I love you, and then he dives off of a 1,584,000 foot tall
The
ladder.
Miz, and R-Truth.
That is a very touching moment.
But
we might still get that. Maybe that's why it's the Young Bucks, so they can do it and end his career on a super kick.
Maybe that would be crazy.
But a double super
Maybe
kick.
they're not gonna fight at Revolution. Maybe
With
they're just gonna
cleats
fight
on
in
that
2
explode
weeks
when they do it.
at
Battle of the Belts night. I don't think it'll be that. I think that's going to be his last match, and I'm not.
I don't really know who I
not
thought
super
was going to
into it.
be their last match, but it just wasn't the Young Bucks, and it's just kind of, I'm just kind of bleh right now.
My guess is that Sting got to pick, and he picked who he thought would give him the best last match. But if it were me and I were an executive vice president of a company, or if I were the owner and I was trying to send out this arguably biggest legend in our company, I don't think I would do it to my executive vice presidents.
I know who I would do it to.
The Big Show.
I was actually going to say Goldberg. 2 birds, 1 stone, 1 retirement
match, baby. Make it a triple threat because in comes Hulk Hogan, baby. But it's NWO Hulk Hogan.
I saw that.
We can't say NWO, so we have to keep calling him New World Order Hulk Hogan.
New organization, brother.
There you go.
I saw that Goldberg might be having a retirement match at WrestleMania against WWE star.
I don't think that'll happen.
Against Gunther.
I don't think that. Ooh, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh my god. Oh my god. As a giant Gunther mark, I really hope that doesn't happen.
Well, you never know.
But that was the end of the show. Any closing thoughts? How you feeling about the state of AEW as a more casual fan?
It's just wrestling, I guess. It's not something that I am always looking forward to, but I guess it's like a nice little appetizer for SmackDown.
There goes our media passes to go to Old Revolution, man.
Well,
Tony Khan, if you're listening, man, we'll take the tickets if you're willing to give them, but I don't think you're willing to give them anymore.
You have to be honest with yourself. All you AEW fans, Marks, I should say, not just fan. I consider myself a fan. I probably watch more AEW than I do the math right now. It probably top 95 percentile of America that watches AEW.
Probably more. We watch Rampage, and if the numbers that come out and get reported every week or anything to be accounted for,
that's what I was about to say.
We've got to be in the top percentage of AEW fans.
If you look at it, and Jinder Mahal has a higher viewership.
It was not. Do not give that credit to Jinder.
Well, you look at the facts.
The Rock had a higher viewership.
If you look at the facts, Jinder Mahal had a higher number of viewership than all of AEW combined.
The Rock had a higher percentage. Jinder just so happened to
Gender?
be out there. Jinder was also out there. I will concede that, yes.
But yes, I'm enjoying it. It's just like it's not nothing, no skin off my back for I'll get mad or anything like that. I'm just kind of scratch my head sometimes, but it's just I don't know. It doesn't get me out of my seat. But
Certainly
maybe
no
at
NXT.
least, especially now that MJF's not there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a bigger loss for AEW than they maybe even accounted for.
Yeah,
And
Swerve might get me out of the seat every now and then.
see, that's the thing. In wrestling, if you're going to lose your biggest star, you need to have another one primed and ready to take his spot.
They needed to have a Roman Reigns in what year was it when John Cena left?
I mean, like 2017.
Yeah, and then everybody hates him.
Well, yes. But with MJF, I don't know if they had the time to prepare. I definitely think MJF is still signed with AEW. I don't think he's going to WWE.
Until he comes out at Royal Rumble.
If MJF comes out at the Royal Rumble, I will gladly eat my words right now. But what I am saying is, with MJF being gone, regardless of if it's for storyline, leaving the company, or for his injury, he was a very vital part of that show.
Yeah.
Even though some people were
Shows.
losing interest in him as a face and his title reign, I understand some people felt like they needed a break from MJF. But Adam Cole, who was supposed to take over as this monster heel that we couldn't believe did that to MJF, he can't compete because of his ankle.
Yeah.
No one else in that group feels like a leader or a threat,
They gotta
including
bring in
Wardlow
Bobby Fish
and Kyle O'Reilly. The Young Bucks came back. I'm not interested in the Young Bucks coming in just to beat up an old man on his way out of the company. I think Swerve was the guy to put it with, and right now they've got him still dealing with Hangman instead of focusing purely on going after Samoa Joe. So I just feel like I've already seen Swerve beat Hangman twice,
Yeah.
and after the death match, I don't know that their third encounter is going to be any better.
Yeah, that's what I'm not really understanding either. Are they not gonna have another pay-per-view before Revolution, or is
No, that will be their first pay-per-view of the year.
That's interesting. I'm kind of surprised they're doing that.
I mean, it's just kind of how it works. But especially if that is how it's going to work, I don't know what we're going to do for Sting, Darby, and the Young Bucks for 8 weeks or however
I
long
was
it
about to
is.
say, I feel like we're gonna have some long. I mean, maybe they'll have like a special event, like regular show, and have some feuds blow off.
Well, I mean, tonight was a special regular event, Dynamite Homecoming.
Well, yeah.
And I don't feel like anything blew off. I don't
No, there
really
wasn't.
feel like. I feel like
If
tonight
anything,
set
there
the
was more.
groundwork for Revolution.
Yeah.
But Revolution is far enough away that they're going to have an uphill battle of keeping interest.
Yeah, you gotta have all of your rivalries. You'll be at either level 4 or stale.
It's going to be interesting to see.
But maybe they'll do it, and I'm sure we'll either be there or we'll buy it. Tony Khan, if you'd love to.
Tony
have
Khan,
us.
hit us up, man.
Yeah.
You know we will gladly do an honest review of the show. Just like tonight was.
Yeah, and if you talk about gender again, Tony,
then we won't come.
I'll still come, but I'm going to wear a Jinder Mahal shirt.
Oh, this guy. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hopefully y'all enjoyed listening. Let us know in the comments below if you agree with the Mark or the Casual, or if we're a bunch of idiots, whatever you got to do to get it off your chest.
Yeah, we're both just casuals or both Marks. Let us know. I'm probably both Marks at this point.
Nah. We got to bring in the real Casual, Grandpa Wrestling. Man, that... Ooh.
He's gone. He's transcended the reverse bell curve. He went from deep on the bottom of the bell curve to transcended to asking if wrestling's real anymore.
We'll save those stories for another time. Y'all be sure to let us know what you thought down in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, notification. I don't know what YouTubers say.
Yeah.
But do all of the things. Check out some of our other videos, or check out the TikTok for some exclusive day-to-day coverage of everything pro wrestling. In case you forgot, I'm the Mark.
And I'm the Casual. Let us know what you thought of our review. Let us know what you want to hear more about. Thanks for listening, guys.